Okay, sorry, I have to do it again. I know I just spent last week shitting on crikey journalist Bernard Keane for his biting style of commentary, but it needs to be done again. It's a formula at this point. His style of writing, that is, not the fact that I keep hitting the same things. There's nothing formulaic about this channel, okay? In fact, watch this.
I'm now no longer a nerdy Australian political commentator. You don't know what you're watching anymore, do you? The whole reality has been shattered. You could be watching a 1960s talk show host right now. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, I see you about to post on the R-Friendly Geordie subreddit, aka a portal to hell. I usually like Jordan, but this whole smoking thing really seems very reactionary. Seems like a real big blind spot on his part, ? Cope loses. And if you don't like that I smoke, you're gonna hate today's sponsor, Alfred's Asbestos. Stand up to the commie woke mob and stand up to fire with Alfred's Asbestos. It started with asbestos, and now you're not even allowed plastic bags at the supermarket anymore. What's up with that? Let's put an end to the madness here. Let's make fireproofing great again. See? You never know what's gonna come out of my mouth. This channel keeps you on your toes.
Unlike Australia's most pathetic media publication, Crikey, it's the same shit, week in, week out. In fact, let me teach you how to write a Bernard Keane Crikey article. Here's his entire lifetime of accumulated skills in 3 points. You ready? 1. Find an issue that people might be talking about, usually something vaguely trending on Ozpol Twitter. 2. Link element of said issue to liberal cultural no-nos, whether it be masculinity, Russia, Trump, etc. And actually, not even etc, just those 3 will suffice. 3. Use that link to assert, actually, you're all wrong. I thought about this much more than you because I found a link to something we could all agree is bad. Wow, what a necessary man Bernard Keane is. He did it with whistleblower David McBride, asserting, actually guys, stop talking about how it's scary that a whistleblower might be the only man to go to jail for their actions in the war in Afghanistan. What we need to talk about is that he was on a right-wing podcast. You can watch my video on that article right here. He's done it again though, only this time to the Albanese government's new Built in Australia plan with an even more tenuous link to a cultural taboo. Honestly, there is no difference between Crikey and The Onion other than the fact that Crikey is a better name for a joke newspaper. Look at this fucking headline. Albanese's dumb, wrong-headed protectionism is jobs for the blokes. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The main thesis of the article is bringing back manufacturing is bad because men like to manufacture things, and as we all know in Twitter land, men are bad. Well, he doesn't say men are bad, but you know that goes without saying. So here's a little bit of background for you. You know how since the 80s, a lot of Western countries have had what's happened to their men, happened to their manufacturing sectors. They've been neutered! Australia, as you can tell by the fact that fucking Bernard Keane is a public figure here, we ended up one of the most neutered of countries, ranking last in the OECD for manufacturing self-sufficiency, and having some of the worst economic complexity indicators in the developed world. Recently, there's kind of been a global shift back to making every country an autarky. That means it's self-reliant, economically independent, admittedly due to the West wanting their cocks back so we can fuck China, and not in a loving, sex-positive way either, in a fucked Kanye West porn-brained way. That's right, China, we've got a new girlfriend and we're gonna make them dress and look exactly like you. So yes, this global shift back to manufacturing things in your own country is coupled with nuclear proliferation, but hell yeah boss, we got our cocks back. Cold War has its benefits. And one of those benefits is nations realizing, hey, sometimes you have to act like a nation and not an economic zone. So, Albanese, like his Western counterparts, has announced massive investments in Australia's manufacturing sector, including but not limited to the $15 billion National Reconstruction Fund designed to rebuild Australia's industrial base. The fund will invest in everything from, well, I don't know, all these big important sounding words like critical minerals, hydrogen electrolyzers. Well, that's the shit in power, right? Okay. Artificial intelligence, food? What the fuck is that? Quantum computing? Now, I know that one. Seriously though, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but if it results in us creating the biggest and best goon cave of all time, 1 million Pornhub tabs on 1 million monitors at once, then, just like Kanye did to Adidas execs, when Chinese diplomats visit, we could go, right this way, gents, the office is here, There! Fuck their dopamine receptors for life. They go back to Beijing to report to Mao or whoever their king is at the moment. But oh no, what's this? They're too low energy to function from all the time they spent gooning in Australia's quantum goon cave. China falls apart. Take that, our best trading partner. That won't bite us in the arse. Opium wars all over again, only this time the weapon is poppycock. After that, Australia emerges as the new superpower with our totally dominant manufacturing industry because every other country is completely addicted to our domestically made Australian goon caves. What a vision. Brilliant policy from Labor. The amount of times I've heard people lament about the decline of Australian industry and how nothing's made here anymore is... Well, Pauline Hanson says it a lot, but you can't win them all. Bernard's actually opposed to the plan because too many men work in manufacturing. And I know you might be thinking that I'm exaggerating to make Bernard Keane look more scoldy and pandering than his desperate glare betrays, because you know it's such a dumb argument that even if you genuinely did believe it and resent men to the level that you'd oppose shoring up Australia's manufacturing self-sufficiency just because of toxic masculinity, surely it would suit your agenda to just let that one slip by to the wicket keeper, right? This is actually how Bernard ends his article criticising Albanese's Made in Australia plan. And apart from the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union and the Australian Workers Union, who would be the beneficiaries of Labor's investment of billions in developing manufacturing industries from the ground up? Men. Nearly 70% of the manufacturing workforce is male. The fabricated metal product manufacturing subcategory is 88% male. The irony of Albanese's policy is that after years of economic policies driving strong growth in female employment under the coalition, Labor would turn the tide back to the 20th century and push jobs for the blokes. What an insane fuckhead. Like, is there anything that you could say that is more discrediting to his argument than his own unbelievably cringy words? I think I can change Bernard's mind immediately. I'll just use the same trick and associate what he's saying with an indistinct concept which is bad in his view. You ready? Bernard, don't you think that what you're saying is very neoliberal? Just in case you don't know, type in the word neoliberal into Crikey. It is ground zero of the whole every economic concept I don't understand, which is all of them is neoliberal. Keane is patient zero in ground zero. He blames neoliberalism for everything. Surely, when it comes to what I would argue is actually the most widely accepted definition of neoliberalism, which is reducing government protection for industry coupled in with some girl boss HR talk, you're not for that, right? Yeah, I know it's a simple and dumb argument to make. We're following the Keane formula here. You're thinking too much for his worldview to handle. Like, I'll admit Keane's argument is a bit longer. He's got to hit that word count for the pellets to drop from his parent company. He's using a Productivity Commission report from last year to argue that stockpiling a good is cheaper than becoming self-sufficient by subsidising the development of the domestic industry which produces that good. Which, first off, isn't the Australian government funding a job like Productivity Commissioner a bit of an oxymoron? And I wonder what the Productivity Commissioner thinks of that report. But here's what the Productivity Commissioner and Bernard didn't take into account. And I know I'm sounding a bit facetious here, but trust me, I'm not. It's way madder to make your own shit. Also, stockpiles run out, geniuses. Give a man a fish, etc. Spiritually, I've already won the argument. We can just end the video here, like and subscribe, and go buy some Alfred's Asbestos, which now, thanks to Albanese's massive subsidies, accounts for 25% of Australia's economy. Use my code FUCKCRIKEY for a free medical examination 50 years from now. Actually, I'll go further. That Productivity Commission report just sucks. You can't trust the Productivity Commission on a good day. Because what the fuck is the Productivity Commission? It sounds lame to begin with, but also, as Rex Patrick puts it, it's their job to criticise government policy no matter what. But you especially shouldn't take the shit they say at face value when the deputy chair and man who gave the foreword to this report is Alex Robson. Do you know who he is? You don't? Don't worry, I found a really interesting article on him. Meet Turnbull's advisor for Scorched Earth Economics. Oh, would you look at that? It's written by you, Bernard. Let's see what you had to say about the author of one of your article's main arguments back in 2015. Look at this. According to you, Bernard, he's a hard-right Institute of Public Affairs aligned former advisor to multiple Liberal governments, consistently arguing against economic stimulus during recessions. He worked with noted quack Brian Fisher at hard-right consultancy firm. But I guess his Productivity Commission is not only right, but being completely objective when it says Australia will probably never be able to create domestic industries. It is unclear to what extent Australian industry policy could create domestic industries capable of capturing meaningful market share from competing industries in the major economies. See everyone? You're going to be a quarry and a coffee shop forever, Australia, because crikey, and the Institute of Public Affairs say that it's bad to have a government that is bucking the management consultancy consensus of recommending that the only thing Australia is capable of manufacturing is PowerPoint presentations telling us that we don't need to manufacture anything. Ooh. Seems like I've cornered you with your own strategy, Bernard. Quick, crikey, someone write the article. Why is Bernard Keane using reports authored by hard-right economists to argue against domestic manufacturing? What I'm getting at, Bernard, is this is the problem of being a two-bit political commentator. Someone can do exactly the same shit back to you, and unlike David McBride, you deserve to be on trial for it, you hack. There is this truly pernicious media business model in this country that shits on whatever the government of the day is, catering to an audience who base their entire ego on thinking that they're smarter than any government of said day. This is Crikey's MO, even if it means abandoning exactly what they've been whinging about for years, even if it means aligning yourself with interest groups that you've been whinging about for years. You'll do anything just so you can expediently continue to whinge. And the problem is, saying everything that everyone ever does sucks. What does that hurt? Well, just in this particular case, Bernard, Australia's future. That's all. Cities like Wollongong, Geelong, Newcastle, go to them. They're basically entire societies employed at this point, either at university if you're a white-collar worker, or smacked out on meth if you're a blue-collar worker. All once thriving industrial cities that now have next to no industry at all because the Liberals have refused to invest a dime in any manufacturing over the last 30 years. Now that there is a government in trying to bring that manufacturing back, what does the complaint media fall back on? Oh no, I can't use Reaganomics anymore. Fuck, let's go through my Rolodex of accepted gripes. Men, yeah that's right, fuck men. Yes, I get my complaint pellets for another day. Crikey, what a life. Like and subscribe.